I'm Chris Bigger. I'm the Superintendent of Chambersburg School District, and this podcast is designed to support our One Trojan Community idea and a quest for all of our schools to be schools of distinction by 2030. So this podcast is an educational exchange with individuals working in the school district. We have Anna Offutt here, and I'm excited to interview her to talk about strategies and ideas to accelerate on our School of Distinction plan. So Anna, welcome to the show. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Chris.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Chambersburg, where you work now, and what you focus on.
Well, I am currently an English as a second language teacher at Stevens Elementary.
Okay.
I've been in the district in ESL for the past 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started off at South Hamilton for a year and
Okay.
then spent quite a few years at Ben Chambers and then was asked to come over to Stevens.
Aww.
So I've been a teacher for 11 years and I've been in the Chambersburg area for almost going on 30, I think.
And before that?
Before that, I grew up in the Midwest.
Okay. Where in the Midwest?
Michigan.
Okay. So
Grew
Penn
up in
State
the
fans
Midwest.
won't hold Michigan against you at all?
Listen, when you're Michigan, you have to support all of the Michigan teams.
At least for blue. They're both blue.
Yes.
Sure. So clarify for me and just the audience in general, what's the difference between ESL and ELL?
I love that question. Thank you. ESL is, the acronym is for English as a Second Language. We often just utilize that for the term, for the program. Students who speak another language at home as a first language often, not always, often get identified for the English as a Second Language support programming,
Right.
which looks a little different in all of the schools.
Sure.
And then ELLs are English language learners. And honestly, for some of our Ls, English is actually not their second language, it is their third language.
Yeah. So L, English language student, ESL teacher, generally.
Often,
program.
yes.
Yeah,
ESL
that's how it's
teachers,
done.
English language learners, yes.
Well, tell us about what has changed in the last 10 years in this area since your educational
Yes.
experience. So talk about what's different.
There's a number of things that have changed since I started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When I first started in English as a second language, there was very few ESL teachers, and there's still few ESL teachers. This district, we had about 700 identified ESL students.
Okay, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And currently we have around 1,300
Okay.
English as second language students.
Big change.
Big change. There's actually 1,500 in the program, but I believe around 1,300 that
Sure.
are being pulled and seen. They represent 22 different languages, and that's not actually including like some of the different dialects such as Mum and such.
What are the predominant languages?
In this community, it is Spanish,
Okay.
and then it is followed by Haitian.
Haitian Creole.
And then we have some Nepali and some other different languages, but 22 of them.
So what does programming look like in the school maybe 10 years ago, and what does it look like now?
Who we identified looks a little different. The screener that we would have that would identify students, it was a little looser, so sometimes students who maybe would have benefited from getting English as a
Right.
second language program did not qualify. Now our netting is a little tighter, so we're capturing a few more students. It varies. English as a second language in the elementary school looks a little
Yeah.
different than it will
Sure.
at the middle school and the high school. I can speak.
Yeah, you're mostly elementary. Yeah.
Elementary.
Yeah.
We often pull students out for 30 to 45 minutes, and then they get different
Every
programming.
day, a couple days a week?
Oh, every day. I
Okay.
pull my students every day.
Okay.
I pull my students out of the Blue Band, which is writing.
Okay.
So I utilize the open court ESL
Yep.
programming for writing.
Awesome.
Other teachers sometimes pull out of Red Band. It depends upon the building. It depends
Yeah.
upon the schedule.
What do you spend your time doing in 30 minutes daily with, let's say, a level 1 or 2, which is the students who speak the least amount of English, and then up to level 5, where they have some acquisition of the English language, but not ready to go by themselves yet?
Certainly. I see anywhere from a couple of students, and then when I was at Ben Chambers one year, I had 15 kids in my class.
Okay.
It's going to look different. I love that you recognize that they have different language levels. Students who are English language learners take a test every year, and it determines their language level. And like you indicated, level 1s are new friends that really do not know a lot of English.
Right.
And then when they get to like a level 4, the classroom teachers are saying, "Why are you pulling this student?"
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's because they come off as knowing a lot of English. And they may know a lot of English conversationally from like friend to friend, but they may not have like the academic language that they need in order to be successful. So if I pull them, I'm doing a lot of what they're doing in the classroom. It's just going to be modified with more supports. So I may give sentence starters. The expectation, instead of maybe writing a 5-paragraph sentence, might be a 3-paragraph sentence. We'll go over vocabulary. There'll be picture support.
Gotcha.
I'll do more thinking aloud.
Yeah.
And et cetera.
So as you know, I think people think that every time you pull an ESL or an ELL student that you're speaking their language, and that's not the case.
No.
Most ESL teachers are not speaking the native language the kids are coming from. So how does that work?
Well, like I like to laugh and say, I'm very proficient in English, so which is good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
But that's why we need to utilize these skills. And it's not even the ESL teachers that are just utilizing these skills. You walk into almost any classroom and you will see a teacher as almost being an ESL teacher.
Yeah, especially at Ben Chambers, Stevens.
Especially at Ben Chambers and Stevens and some of those
Buchanan,
communities.
Marion, for sure.
So teachers will be doing like pictures or doing a video or doing think aloud or word bank or vocabulary or sentence frames. And what I like to say also, good ESL instruction is not only good for the ESL students, it's good for about 80% of the population in the classroom.
And so you've had students that come in maybe in kindergarten or first grade as a level 1, and then by the time they leave 5th grade, they're at another level. What's that like, seeing them acquire the language over that time? And how long does it take typically for a student to acquire enough skills to survive on their own in the classroom?
Well, the state of Pennsylvania would like us to exit a child within 6 years.
Okay.
And that is about like where you become proficient in the language is about 5 to 7.
Right.
A brand new friend into the community probably will look like, wow, they know a lot of English between 1 and 2 and 3 years. They'll be able to have good conversations with their friends in the cafeteria and the lunchroom, and you'll be like, wow, this kid really understands English, but they don't have necessarily all of the skills. And the second part of that question was?
Over time, how long it takes, which you answered, and then what's it like to see a child go from not speaking to speaking by 5th grade for you? You get to see it.
I do get to see
because you see them every year.
Yes.
You don't just to see them in one grade.
I see 4th and 5th graders.
Okay, all right.
But still, just to even like see a friend who has come into the country. Actually, there was a good example a couple of years back. We had a friend who came to us out of the country and spoke no English. As a 4th grader, and actually never spent a day in school anywhere, not in his home country, not here. So like teaching my 4th grade friend how to hold a pencil.
Right.
Math skills, counting in English, counting in Spanish.
Sure.
I wasn't teaching him Spanish, but the child could not count in Spanish, could not count in English, did not know their letters, sounds, and names in English or in Spanish. And then to see where they are at the end, to see them at the end of 5th grade, having conversations with their friends, them being able to be fairly successful with supports in the classroom. It's exciting.
What do teachers need the most in helping ELLs generally in the regular ed classroom? What do they need the most?
What do the teachers need?
Yeah. So they're outside of your classroom. They're back in the regular education classroom. There's a level 1, level 2 there. What is it that they need the most?
Other than time and more hands and feet on the floor.
More people?
Yeah, more people, more time. I think just continuing with like the supports that the ESL staff can give those friends and provide. Good teaching is good teaching, so building background vocabulary. Well, building the vocabulary ultimately will move our ESL students the fastest. So I just think those kinds of things.
Right. How are the parents when, so they're new to the country, they come with and they're here, what do they generally need? What do parents need from us?
Oh, that's a great question. We have to remember that parents come to us from many different backgrounds. Different countries value education differently than we do necessarily here in the United States. Some countries value education more than we do in the United States. But a number of our countries where they're coming from do not necessarily value, it may be family and then school, which is fine. We value that also. So that can be sometimes a little different. Also, our families come to us, they themselves have different educational backgrounds. We may have parents who are not literate in their home language. Some of the languages that we have do not actually have a written language at all. So it's an all oral language. So there's just a lot of those kinds of things. Also, when our students come to us, they come to us with a varied background. Some students come to us and have a great educational background. They went to school every day. And some friends come to us and they hardly have schooling, or it says they went to school, but they maybe didn't go to school consistently. So there's a lot of varieties that make teaching just a little extra.
What are you most excited about from now through 5 years in 2030? our focus on schools of distinction. What gets you excited about the future?
Well, I do look forward to moving our ESL friends along and having a community where they're truly bilingual,
Right.
where they're literate in English, can read and write, and
Sure.
also literate in their home language would be
Right.
wonderful. I look forward to that. I look forward to more consistent programming across the board.
Yeah.
And I do look forward to all of our schools being schools of distinction.
Yeah, awesome. There's a strategy out there talking about a 5th special in elementary. Right now we have 4 specials in K to 3, and we're designing a new school 4 to 6. What would you say to Spanish being the 5th special in elementary?
I think that would be very interesting.
What would the Spanish-speaking kids do in Spanish class?
We actually, I know that there's a high school teacher who teaches
Yeah.
Spanish for the native Spanish
Yes.
speaker, and
Because it's different.
and they learn,
Yeah.
because they have to conjugate verbs.
Right,
They can't use
right.
street slang
Right.
for different things. So I think that that would be great. I think actually in regards to that, the United States is kind of behind the 8 ball when you look at like world leaders and world
Sure,
powers.
sure.
Lots of other countries, they're speaking
Multiple languages.
multiple languages, and I think the United States could certainly step up and
Sure.
utilize that
Sure.
too.
Well, thanks for coming. We appreciate you helping everybody understand the change of ELL population in Chambersburg over especially the last 10 years, and also still being excited to help them. We really appreciate what you do, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Bigger.
Thanks.